We're back with another Pilates workout, and we've got our Pilates expert in Kira, ex-professional cyclist and physiotherapist, to take us through this lower limb Pilates workout. Now, it is a tough one, so get your mats and let's get cracking. Thanks for joining us again today, Kira. What have you got planned in today's session?
So this session is aiming at focusing on strengthening our lower limb, which is obviously really important for the bike. We obviously want to be as efficient as possible so we can maximise and produce as much power as possible on the bike.
Definitely. So you've got a few bits and bobs there. What are we going to need for this session? So
ideally a head cushion. We'll be coming on to an exercise that's going to require that. But if you haven't got one at home, that's absolutely fine. You could just use a rolled up towel. Okay.
Could you use just a normal cushion that you had at home?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, happy days. The Pilates ball, again, you'll see that it's an option if you want to use it, okay? But you could, again, use a rolled up towel. That's not a problem at all. With the Pilates ring, again, this is all optional just to make the exercise potentially more whole body. So you might use a resistance band if you don't have a Pilates ring. And the resistance band, if you don't have one of these at home, that's absolutely fine. The exercise can still be just as challenging without.
Cool. Anything else our viewers need to know before we get into it?
So as always, it's just really important that you work within your own limits throughout the session. If you have any injury or illness concerns at any point, please stop and contact a medical professional. And any illness or injury concerns prior to the session, please consult your medical professional before participating.
Cool, good to know. Should we get straight into it?
Yeah, let's go for it.
Let's do it.
So first one up, monster walk. So if you have got your band, you're gonna place this around your feet like so.
Whoa, that's a good start.
Okay, so feet just wider than hip width apart. From here, you can place your hands on your hip bone area here, just so you're aware you're not starting to twist, okay? So nice and controlled, piece of string pulling you up by the crown of your head, soft knees, so slight bend. And from here, we're gonna step out and come back to the starting position. And then we're gonna go right, step out, back to the starting position. Now, at all times, really important, try and avoid your knees falling in. So we're really working on our gluteal muscles here, in particular our glute med. So nice posture again, we're gonna step out and to the right, okay? Now again, you can always change the speed of contraction. So you might say to yourself, actually, I'm gonna go for 5 fast, okay? Ooh. And then you might go a little bit slower, okay? We can make this a little bit challenging again by making it more of a whole body exercise. You can use your ring. Now, relaxed around neck and shoulder region, slight pressure into the ring at all times. So stepping out like so. And if you want to make it harder again, you're thinking it's still quite comfortable, go into a deeper squat position, making sure those knees are not going over your feet. So you're almost sitting back into a chair position. So you're here, step out, like so. I'll just check your technique. Perfect, relaxed around neck and shoulders, looking up.
This is harder than it looks, everybody.
Really good, perfect. Just keeping that constant pressure on the ring. Fab, so we're gonna go for a minute of this together.
Wow.
Again, with the resistance bands, you are able to purchase ones with varying resistance. So by all means, you could start on the lighter ones and build up. So 1 minute, we'll go to the right now. You can keep in time with me. Good. Looking up, nice posture. Lower the squat if you can. And remember, we're stepping as opposed to sliding. So common mistake people make, they slide the foot and drag it along the floor. Not with this exercise.
And I guess the lower you get with your squat,
I know, the harder
it is.
Minute seemed like a good idea until I started this. Keep it going. Nice and smooth, relaxed upper body, looking up. Keep it going. Another 15 seconds. Really good. Slightly higher with the arms there, good. 5 seconds. Good work. Rest there.
Oh, I got them going.
Moving on to our foot series. Again, a nice warm-up activity for the lower limb, but again, quite a challenging exercise. You can make it. So, feet hip width apart. We're gonna squat down, lift the heels off, onto our tiptoes, back down. So, squat down, heels off, onto our tiptoes, back down. Again, you might just want your arms in front, or as we just did, you could do some ring pulses this time, okay? Looking forward to using the ring again, aren't you?
It's made it even harder.
So squat, heels, tiptoes, down. Squat, heels, tiptoes, down. Keep it going. So this way, we're working on our soleus and gastric muscle strength, so our calf muscles, which again, when we're climbing, really important. We're getting a nice squat position, so we're getting some gluteal quadricep activation as well. Keep it going. And we're getting our arms working hard.
And the coordination between it all as well.
And the coordination. 5 more. Good, really good, Manon. Excellent. Keep it going. Still relax around that neck and shoulder region. Imagine you're on the bike. You don't want to be tensing up around that area. Reducing the risk of injury by ensuring we're enhancing that body awareness with our Pilates. 2 more. Good stuff. Ooh. Brilliant, okay? So from there, we're gonna go into a roll down before we go onto our mat. That's our 2 exercises in standing. With our roll down, again, this is just nice for some mobility, so your session flows nicely. So chin to chest, you're gonna slide the hands down the front of the legs, soften the knees slightly, so you're getting a little bit of a stretch throughout the back of the legs. And just walk the hands forward. And we're into our next exercise. Perfect, so we're into our 4-point kneeling position here. So this exercise is looking at working on gluteal and hamstring strength. So keeping the back nice and flat. Imagine you've got your favorite tray of sports drinks, of course, on your back, keeping it nice and flat, not chocolate. And from here, you're gonna come up and you're just gonna bring the heel up towards the ceiling. Now, various ways of doing this. You could go full range with it. So coming up and down, or you might decide to work just at the top of the range just for some pulses, okay? Key is you don't want to be twisting around that lower back region. So I'll just have a little look. So neck nice and long, good, perfect. Making sure we're nice and controlled through here, excellent. Now if you just demonstrate some pulses, so we come up and we just work at the outer range here, but making sure this back stays nice and flat, where core is engaged, so think about that centering. So rib cage towards hip area, so we're keeping nice and strong, nice neck position, lovely. A way of making this a little bit more challenging if you wish, provided you can maintain good technique, would be to put a band above your ankles when doing this exercise. And again, you might opt for 30 to 60 seconds each side, depending on how that feels for you, okay? Perfect, rest there for me. So let's just have a little go with the band. How did that feel?
Quite hard.
It is quite challenging, isn't it? So again, if you find it challenging, have a go by all means by adding the resistance band in. But if you then lose control of that good technique and you feel it more in your back as opposed to those key muscle groups, then you'd want to go back to without the band. So the band can fall down a little bit, so you have to bring it a little bit higher sometimes. And you sometimes need to,
your knees,
and bring your knees a tiny bit wider. So I'm here now instead. And I'm just working in that range that I know I can control and ensure good technique. Okay, keep that going, lovely. Nice neck position again for me. Keeping nice and strong through there, lovely. Really nice. And you can see you're starting to try and use your lower back a little bit. So again, you might just slightly reduce that range and not go quite so high. That's really nice there, perfect. Good work, Manon, really good. Excellent. You can make this exercise into a swimming exercise, which is nice for cyclists as well. So in our APPI, we have swimming exercises within our Pilates regime. And if you rest there for a second, you could, if you wanted to take it a step further from here, just come out, just bring one leg up. And if you were to use a band, you might have a longer resistance band, or you might go for some pulses, like so, or even bringing the leg out to the side. But again, back nice and flat, center engaged, thinking about that core, nice long neck position, and back in. Okay, so that's just an alternative for you if potentially you don't have a resistance band at home and you're still wanting a challenging exercise. And that's kind of a whole body exercise as well. How's that feel?
Good. You definitely feel the muscles working.
Good, fab. Okay, superb. So we're moving on to our clam exercises. This is where if you've got a head cushion or a pillow or a towel, that would be a good shout to use. You're gonna place it between your arm and your head like so. And from here, quick check. You're gonna say to yourself, are my feet, hips, head in line? Okay, so you can do that by just lifting your feet up in the air so you have a little look. And from here, you also want to make sure that you imagine there is a wall behind you. So you don't want to roll back during this exercise. This is all about using the muscles around the gluteal region here, okay? So resting the upper body, so we're not fixing onto the floor either. We're just gonna lift the top knee up, keeping the feet together and back down. So nice and relaxed upper body, just coming up, back down. Imagine that wall behind you, so you're not gonna roll back at any point. If you need to, slightly rotate the top hip forward if that helps you feel like you're using bottom muscles a little bit more. And that's really nice. So I'll have a little look at your technique there, Manon. Good. So you should feel here working hard throughout this session. Again, what you can do is put your hand under here and you shouldn't be able to feel that you're just using your lower back at all. It should feel like it's coming from the gluteal region. And that's lovely and controlled. Now, if I wanted you to make this a little bit more challenging, ways I could do so would be making you use a band above your knees, or the ring above your knees, or even putting the Pilates ball. This is all modifications of the exercise of your Clam level 1, and squish that Pilates ball together and now come up. And it's quite challenging, isn't it? Okay. But again, you could do that with a rolled up towel at home if you don't have that, or if you've got a football lying about the place.
It's a little bit flat.
Yeah. Good. Really nice. Fab. Now, level 2 exercise. The only difference is that the feet come up into the air. So we're keeping here. I'm just going to bring you back slightly. There we go. So I know that your head is in line with hips, feet. And from here, exact same exercise. Perfect. Good stuff. Same modifications to make it more challenging if you wish. Pilates ball between feet, band above knees, ring above knees. And again, because we're working on building the strength of these exercises, depending on if you're doing more of a strength phase, more of a power phase, more speed, you might choose to do 15 to 20 reps on one side before changing side. You might do blocks of 2 to 3 sets of this, depending on what your aim for the session is. So this is quite a nice one if, for example, you're someone who might struggle to activate your gluteal muscles, and say when you're climbing, for example, you can't really feel that you're able to access or use them efficiently. This could be something you might choose to do a set of prior to a bike ride to help you with that. But I wouldn't recommend doing sets and sets of fatigue before going out on the bike. This would be more of an activation, so just reducing the number of reps and sets. So it's activation purposes as opposed to strengthening. Otherwise, if it's a strength aim, you might choose to do your blocks and reps and sets. So that's really nice, lovely. And make sure you're always relaxing through here as well, because what you don't want to be doing is then on the bike, transferring that and starting to tense up around the neck and shoulder girdle.
Definitely.
Okay, brilliant. So that is our Clam level 1 and level 2 on this side. So I'll join in with you now. I'm happy with your technique on the other side. So what do you fancy, Manon? Do you want to have a go with the ring above knees or the band, and I'll do the other?
Yeah, I quite like the feet in the air one.
Okay, perfect. So you're going to go level 2 Clam. I'll go for level 1 Clam, and I'll put the band above my knees.
Is it normal to have maybe one side a little bit stronger or feel a bit
You can
different?
do, plus also you'll find that you're stabilising on one side whilst you're doing a set anyway, so it can feel a bit like you're fatiguing when you turn to the other side. So that's lovely, level 2. And again, just relaxed around here. I'm going to go for level 1. So my feet are down. And again, I'm always making sure that I'm not rolling backwards. And again, don't worry if your range is not very high. So we're not looking for anything that's like this where we roll back, because then we're not actually using the gluteal muscles as we're wanting to. So if it helps you with awareness, you can put your hand on your hip, just relax around the neck and shoulder, or you might find it nice just to rest it in front of you, not fixing on. Good. Let's go 10 more. So again, depending on what your aim is, whether that's activation or strengthening, will depend on how many reps and sets you go for. And if you're not sure if you're doing the exercise right, the aim is you should feel the muscles working around where the pocket on your jeans are. Okay, so that's where we're aiming to be working. And the more efficient we are with our gluteal muscles, the better on the bike. Good stuff.
Lovely.
Excellent. So the next exercise is our shoulder bridge. No head cushion for this. Now again, you can keep a band above your knees, or you might go for a ring. So if I pass you a ring, you can pop that above knees. Now with our shoulder bridge, from here, palms facing up to the ceiling, so we're not tensing around our neck and shoulder region. From here, you're gonna tuck your bottom under, peeling each part of your spine off the mat. You're gonna hold, achieving a nice hip height, and then slowly lengthen and lower. So I'm gonna show you lots of modifications of this. This is a great exercise for gluteal strength, hamstring strength, and you can make it calf strength as well. So coming up nice and slowly, but also spinal mobility too. So again, slowly lengthen and lower. And again, tuck that bottom under, peeling each part of your spine off the mat, coming up, and slowly lengthen and lower. Okay, so if I wanted to make this a little bit more glutes again, or if I feel I'm struggling to engage them, I'm coming up and I've got my band or ring and I can push out. I could do some reps here, keeping that good hip height, or I could do some prolonged holds for again, 10 to 20 seconds, whatever you feel you require, and then slowly coming back down. Okay, so soften that rib cage as you then float back down. So again, coming up, peeling each part of your spine off the mat, hold, and let's go for some reps. Let's go for 10, 9, and again, change the speed. So you might say, actually, I'm gonna do some quick ones now, keeping that good hip height, and I might go for some slower. And then we'll do a hold for 3, 2, 1, back, and slowly down. Okay, so that's a nice way of getting a little bit more through glutes. If you wanted to make it a little bit more hamstring as well, okay, if you don't have a foam roller at home, that's absolutely fine. You might put your feet onto a box that's nice and stable, or alternatively, you could try your feet onto like a low sofa, something that's not gonna move on you at all, so you're nice and safe. So feet on like so. So yeah, you've got your heels in, which is great because you're gonna get a little bit more work through your calf muscles then. So from here, have a go now, Manon. Tuck that bottom under, come up, 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 hold, and slowly lower. Good work, really nice. Just adding that in, do you feel?
It does, yeah.
Definitely makes you recruit those muscles a little bit more, okay?
And it's such an easy exercise, but it's
There's so many modifications, which is great. So this is double leg. So this is your shoulder bridge level 1, but these are all modifications of it, okay? So level 2s and level 3s when we start to do single leg, okay?
I bet single leg is very challenging.
Single leg is very challenging. Okay, perfect. So we're gonna stick with this exercise, just level 1 for this session. And the final modification, just to really challenge you, Manon, is coming back down. Try with your feet on the Pilates ball.
On the Pilates ball?
Yes, on the Pilates ball. Okay, you could put your whole foot, I won't be quite so mean, you can put the whole foot there. There we go. Okay. Notice how I'm making Manon demonstrate. Good. Oh. And slowly down. Now, if you find it really challenging, you could shorten the lever, so you could bring your feet a little bit closer to your bottom, okay? The further your feet are away, the more challenging it was gonna be. And then slowly down. So that's a wrap. That is our lower limb strengthening, Manon.
That was really good.
So
very challenging.
We've covered, the key muscle groups there to help improve our peak power, our power output on the bike. Hopefully you really enjoyed it. Again, in terms of reps and sets, you might choose to do a minute of each of those. You might say to yourself, I'm gonna work on 3 sets of 15 to 20. It's all completely relevant and dependent on what you require. And again, if you're not sure, if you need any further advice, if you've got any injury concerns, you could always speak to a medical professional, and I'm sure they'd be able to advise you best.
Perfect. Thank you so much for taking us through that session. It was definitely a tough one, and yeah, I definitely need to do that session again and get better at it. But if you did enjoy this session, then let us know down in the comments section below, and we will have a load of other Pilates videos coming to the channel very soon.
Thank you.